In this video, I want to show you how to take this into a more active pattern. Many of our clients are doing single leg reach type patterns, which is a really awesome functional pattern. Unfortunately, many of our clients are not doing a great job in how they're carrying out that pattern. So what happens with these clients that generally have myofascial gripping of their posterior hip and or lateral hip is as they go forward, they'll start to quickly rotate out of that position and or lose the ability to keep rotating the pelvis anteriorly. Because ultimately, we want them to be able to bring the pelvis towards that leg they're standing on, move the pelvis over top of the femoral head, and then hip hinge and create pure hip hinge. And very few of our clients are actually doing that with good form. So we came up with a modification of the single leg version of the deadlift pattern or hip hinge pattern, where the one leg is on the wall. So I'm going to demonstrate it now, and again, very effective way to actively mobilize the hip while developing more optimal control around the hip joint and start to progress your clients safely and effectively to doing a single leg version of the pattern. So here's how it goes. I'm going to stand next to a wall or something I can place my foot upon. So I'm going to bring my feet about hip width apart. The one leg will go back against the wall and push very gently upon the wall. So my right foot is pushing back into the wall. I'm going to square my pelvis up to the forward leg, so I'm going to rotate it towards, and then I'm going to do a hip hinge. I'm going to make sure my spine is aligned because I want to get pure hip hinge motion here. So hands will go on my pelvis. I'm going to hinge forward, rotating that pelvis over top of the femoral head. So now I feel tremendous lengthening through my posterior hip and a little bit into my hamstring, but mostly through the posterior hip. And I want to go where my tightness is and want to take me is out of that position. So I'm going to rotate my pelvis towards the forward leg and then hip hinge forward. And I'm going to hold for a second or two and then slowly come back up out of that position. So again, it's a pure hip hinge motion, moving the pelvis over top of the femoral head and then coming back up top without squeezing and gripping and pulling yourself right back into a posterior tilted position and over grip hip position. So again, square up, hands on the pelvis, rotate the pelvis up and over top of the femoral head. Make sure the pelvis is squared up to the foot. It should not be pointing away from the foot, but squared up to the foot, and now slowly come back out of that position. I'm going to switch over.